I can't remember what I was talking about, but that's okay. Okay, I've recorded this video quite a few times, so I'm hoping that this would work. Please work, technology. And hopefully my lag problems or whatever was going on is all fixed and done now. Okay, so I will now be doing my review of All Hail Megatron, Issue 1. Before I start talking about this issue, or even the series in itself, one thing that I thought was really interesting was when All Hail Megatron, I can't remember if they actually said this when it was first announced, but when it was first announced, I was under the impression that it was a standalone series, or kind of like a what-if type of thing, and I didn't think that it was part of the overarching storyline. Lo and behold, we come to find out, I think like right before it was released, I can't remember, because it was released like in the summer, so I can't remember, that it is in the overarching storyline. It actually takes place a year after Revelations ended. Which is funny because it started, now it's running in conjunction with Maximum Dinobots, which takes place basically right after Revelations, actually right after Spotlight Grimlock, but which is basically after Revelations, so that's interesting. I guess the first thing to talk about is this awesome cover. Look at that. That is so cool. Now, I will admit this is actually really terrifying. When I first saw it, I was like, what is that? I mean, it's Optimus Prime's decapitated head on what looks like a pole that used to have an American flag on it, and Megatron's all like, yay, I'm awesome. That's terrifying, but it's awesome, too. So, it's very cool. I like the cover of this a lot. And actually, one thing that I like about this series is all of the covers so far have been awesome, and there's usually at least 3 different options. Some of the other ones I'll talk about in my other reviews, because some of my other issues are the different styles of cover. But the story itself, it just starts off, and there's a little blurb about the past of the Autobots and Decepticons, but it's like I have a page, and it doesn't really mean anything. And it starts off in New York. Oh, it's so pretty. Yay. Just some people chilling, and then this weird green truck comes over to, I don't even know what that, sorry, I don't know what kind of trucks exactly the Constructicons are. Don't judge me. So obviously it's the Constructicons. They transform and everyone's like, whoa, what is that? And they think it's cool, and they're all like, oh, actually, yeah, one of Scrapper's lines is that they come in peace, and they're there to spread a message of kindness. And then he's like, JK, we're gonna kill everyone. And then they do. They basically then just open fire and just start going at it. The Seekers arrive, and we get a very stereotypical Starscream in this issue, and that kind of bugged me. I like when Starscream is more than just the guy who thinks he's so awesome and talks about how awesome he is, and then Megatron comes and he's like, oh, Megatron, you're so awesome. I'm only awesome because you're awesome. Yeah. And then Megatron, gets mad at him and shows him up. I felt like in this issue, Starscream's more of a parody than an actual, characterization. But as I've read through, now that we're up to 8, I've come to discover that that's not the case, and it seems to just be in this issue, and it's probably just the way I read it, that Starscream does gain more characterization as the series goes on. Other than that, we get introduced to some human characters. I think his name's DJ. I have to admit, I did not really care about them, and that's interesting for me to say because I actually usually don't mind the human characters. I like Sari on Transformers Animated. I think she's cool. I did not mind Verity and Jimmy and Hunter, especially now that Hunter has become such an important part. We see him now in Maximum Dinobots and among other places. Spoiler alert, you will see him in this. I can't remember what I was talking about, but that's okay. But yeah, these humans, I think it's because you knew that they probably weren't gonna make it very long. You don't really care about them, and I didn't care about them. I cared when they were getting attacked in the air by the Decepticons because it made this awesome page that I love. I remember seeing this page online for the first time going, oh my gosh, that is so awesome. We have all the Seekers and Laserbeak, and they're all attacking planes, and Bombshell's eating a plane. I don't really know what he's doing to that plane, so I'll just let him do that and leave him there. So that's basically all that the issue is. You get some stuff with the humans, and then I said, I don't really care about them, and the Decepticons destroy some stuff. Megatron is, like, super evil, and that's really scary. It's very kind of mature compared to, you know, some other things people think about Transformers. It's more of a, think of a kid stuff. So that's basically what the issue is until you get to the end, and you're back on Cybertron. And we see a very distressed Prowl and Jazz, and then we find out why. Yeah, that's not good. That's kind of bad for our buddy Prime there. And that's how the issue ends, so it leaves the question, you know, what happened to Prime, which doesn't get answered until, like, issue 7. So you wonder about what happened to Prime a lot. Overall, I think that the issue does a good job of kind of getting us excited. In retrospect, now that I've read more of the series, it's kind of too bad that this is basically all we get for like 4 or 5 issues. But for the first issue, when I first read it, I was excited. Except for one thing that got me confused. In the scene where they go back to Cybertron, I noticed that Sunstreaker was present. And when I first read this, I was very, very confused about why Sunstreaker was there. I thought that it was a mistake. Because Simon Furman himself had made a Transformers mosaic, and for anyone who doesn't know what those are, they're one-page comics that are made usually by the fans, and Simon Furman made one about Hunter and Sunstreaker after Revelations over. It actually takes place 2 years after Revelations is over, and they're still on Earth. They talk about fighting Scorponok, and they're still bonded. Hunter's still a headmaster, and they're on Earth, and at least that's what I took from it. And I saw Sunstreaker on Cybertron in this, and I was like, that doesn't make sense. And I was pretty sure that it was a mistake. And now anybody who has read the series up until where it is now knows, obviously, that is not a mistake. Sunstreaker is supposed to be there, and he plays a pretty important role coming up. I won't give that away quite yet. And other than that, okay first issue. I mean, I liked it. It was exciting. I feel like I've kind of been jaded now by having read the rest of the series or what we have it so far, and knowing that this is kind of all we're going to get for a while. But if I don't put it in that context, it was pretty cool. The artwork is great. The coloring is really gritty, and I like that a lot. Overall, it was okay. So that was my first review of All Hail Megatron 1. If you would like to subscribe, that'd be really awesome. You've been my best friend forever, and I'd send you an e-cookie if I knew how to do that. And I will be back with my review of All Hail Megatron 2.